In the following video, we're going to show you how to carry out basic machine maintenance on your motorcycle by using the acronym P.O.W.D.E.R.S. So, P for petrol. You might find a couple of different types of gauge on your bike, the old-fashioned analog or new digital gauge. Sometimes you might just have a light. Okay, however, the easiest way of checking how much fuel you've got in your machine, just so you've got enough to get to a petrol station, is to actually lift the lid off the tank, give it a little splash around and see how much you've got. Obviously not while you're smoking a cigarette. The other thing you need to remember, especially with a lot of the smaller bikes, make sure your fuel tap is turned to the on position. Okay, checking your owner's manual will tell you what's on, what's off. A lot of smaller bikes as well will have a reserve switch. So, moving on to oil. Okay, different types of machine, different types of oil, 2-stroke, 4-stroke. Alright, again, your owner's manual will tell you exactly what kind of oil goes in your bike. Wiping the dipstick, placing it back in the hole, lifting it out to get an accurate reading with the bike on level flat ground. Okay, you might also find some of the larger machines or the newer machines will have a sight glass. Again, the machine's got to be on level flat ground to get an accurate reading. You might also find checking other types of oil, such as hydraulic oil for your brakes. Alright, should be able to see a little bubble at the top of the reservoir. And again, same if you've got a hydraulic clutch or hydraulic rear brake. Checking for water. Okay, in the winter obviously you need to make sure there's antifreeze in the machine. Alright, sometimes the bubbles are a little bit hard to find, generally hidden away under the bodywork. Your battery might also have water level in it as well. Okay, again, should be checked regularly. D, drivetrain or damage. A lot of people miss out this. When checking your chain, you must check for tight spots. Okay, checking the chain in at least 3 or 4 different places, spinning the wheel. To adjust the chain, again, checking the owner's manual, or get a friend to help you. Looking at the adjuster marks on the back of the swing arm, moving the wheel back in the frame, and then when you're checking again, checking in 3 or 4 different spaces, making sure you've got the correct amount of tension, not too tight, not too loose, and also making sure that the chain on the machine that is adequately lubricated. You might also have a look at your drivetrain if you've got a shaft drive. A lot of these are sealed for life, checked once a year at your dealers. Again, you can always check the level yourself. E for electrics, very simple check. You might just want to flick through your lights are correctly working, your high beam and your low beam. Check your indicators are working. Okay, your horn is always a good one, just letting people know you're there. Finally, brake lights, always a good idea. Check both your front and your rear brake lights, making sure that both of them are working properly. Moving on to the rubber. Alright, 2 small contact patches keeping you in touch with the ground. Alright, at least 1mm across 75% of the tyre's width in the UK. Checking for stones, nails, screws, cuts, lumps in the sidewall. If you actually look closely at the sidewall as well, you'll see a little indicator, TWI normally, tread wear indicator. It's a little raised mark in the centre of your tread telling you that you're getting near to the minimum wear limit. Pressure, again, something very, very important. A lot of people overlooked. If you haven't got the correct pressure in your tyres, you're going to adversely affect the handling. You're not going to do your miles per gallon any good, and your bike won't be as much fun to ride. Steering and suspension. Okay, should be able to raise the back of the bike, check the steering is nice and free and easy to turn, and none of your cables are snagging. Okay, checking your suspension. Alright, you just want to have a good look at the back of the bike. It's nice, the bounce rate is about 1.5 times. There's no oil leaks. Okay, everything's nice and tight. Also checking the front. When you check your brakes, you can have a quick look at the forks. There's always going to be a little bit of oil residue on the forks. This is natural. To recap then, P.O.W.D.E.R.S, petrol, oil, water, drivetrain and damage, electrics, steering, suspension and static brake test.